Alright, let me explain something real quick. So, as you can see here, I clearly do not have 800 eggs. So, I'm trying something different. Instead, what I'm doing is... excuse me. What I'm doing is, collecting as many eggs as I can, and then pre-walk the amount of eggs I need for, the next time I do this. So today I have pre-walked the first 7 boxes, so up to here. Everything else I have not walked yet. So, it's almost like I'm separating what I'm doing to, every 2 days. So technically, as of me doing this, tomorrow, technically tomorrow I should collect the next group of eggs, but I already did that. I already have more than 7 boxes for next time. So technically tomorrow what I'll do is I will walk those eggs for next time. And then, back and forth. I collect the eggs on one day, then the next day I pre-walk the eggs. And I gotta say too, pre-walking the eggs suck. It's way worse than if I were to just collect them. Collecting them is no problem, because collecting them, I actually have something to do, right? I go back and forth and I actually collect the egg and I put it in. That I have something to do. When I'm pre-walking them, I just go around Prism Tower for like a dozen times. And I just count how many laps I did around the tower. It's not fun. It's not fun whatsoever. Man, I still can't believe I didn't get a single shiny last time after 800 eggs. Some bullshit right there. Also, last time at the end, yeah, Ark got hit with copyright. Not a copyright strike, not a copyright claim, just copyright. There are songs on YouTube that are perfectly fine to be used. Like it says, the owner allows the song to be used on YouTube, so then it's like, why even bother flagging it for copyright? It does say under the copyright thing that it doesn't affect the channel whatsoever. So it's not a copyright strike, it's not a copyright claim. See, I'm reading it right here, status overview. The content ID claim on your video doesn't affect your channel. This is not a copyright strike. Video used this song, blah blah blah, no impact. So yeah, it just says no impact, but then it's like, if you become a member of the YouTube Partner Program, this claim may affect your ability to monetize the video. Yeah, like that's ever gonna happen. So I guess we can't use Arc anymore, which is weird because I used it before and those didn't get flagged. The YouTube system sometimes, am I right, folks? I think that's way too loud. Or is it? I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it down just a bit, just in case. Guys, that is a shiny right there. It has been, what, 7 eggs tonight? Yeah, 7 eggs tonight, and we already got the shiny. So 800 eggs later with no shiny, and then 7 eggs afterwards, we get the shiny. It was worth it. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. But still, we got the shiny. That's what's important. Okay, let me just do the math in my mind real quick. 810 plus 7. 817 eggs in total for the first shiny Pansear. It hasn't even been 10 minutes into the stream. We got one of the shinies, so great. We just need one more Pansear, and then we can move on to, you know, the actual good shiny. I guess the game felt bad for me and decided to give me an early shiny. Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at this Pansear real quick. Was that even? No. Oh, never mind. That wasn't the 7th, that was the 6th. Or was it? I don't know anymore. Because it says right here that was egg number 6. I don't know anymore. Whatever. So this shiny Pansear, be it egg number 116, egg number 816 or 817, I'm not too sure anymore. Take a look real quick. It's Lax Nature. And I got it on Halloween Day. Cool. Alright, now let's go get that second shiny Pansear. So yeah, as I was trying to say earlier, before that shiny Pansear caught me off guard, today is October 31st. Today is Halloween. So happy Halloween to everyone out there. Even though by the time that this goes up, it will be November 1st, aka the start of December. The start of Christmas. And we all also know what November 1st is. It's it's No Nut November. So, good luck to you out there, gentlemen. Today we were expecting trick-or-treaters, not by the house, but at work. Because every year the mall does trick-or-treating, kids will dress up and go store to store asking for candy, you know, trick-or-treating. For majority of the day, it was actually pretty quiet, actually. But that makes sense. Today's a Thursday, so that means today's a school day. It didn't get busy until like 3:30-ish in the afternoon, which makes sense. after school, kids will come to the mall and trick or treat. So it's no wonder earlier in the day it was pretty dead. And let me tell you, it got hectic. These kids ate up the candy quick. And I also gotta say, like, damn, these are big ass kids these days. A lot of them are taller than me. As sad as that is, well, majority of the kids actually were younger kids, like elementary school kids, so, you know, they're not taller than me just yet. Though I'm sure when their growth spurts hit, they absolutely will be taller than me. So yeah, today's Halloween. You know what's kind of sad though? That on our way to work, we saw that not all the leaves have changed colors fully yet, or have fallen off yet. Normally around Halloween, like say 10 years ago, by this time all the trees, the leaves on the trees would be completely red, or the trees will have all the leaves fallen off. Well, sadly these days the trees, the leaves are still in the yellow color, so it hasn't turned red and fallen off yet. Global warming's a bitch, I tell you. Because the past 2 days have actually been quite warm, like extremely warm. So if it's warm, the leaves won't change color as quick. You know, I was debating back and forth if I wanted to dress up at all today, and me dressing up would have just been me throwing on my school lab coat, throw on a face mask. What? A face mask? Throw on a face mask, as well as maybe some blue latex gloves, and bam, I'm a doctor, I guess. Yeah, I decided not to, just because today was quite warm, even inside. So to wear a lab coat on top of that, no thank you. And you know, putting in the effort to actually dress up like that would have taken effort. So yeah, I decided not to dress up this year. Once again, yet another year I didn't dress up. Well, at least the holiday spirit's still alive with the kids. So we only need one more Pansear. The odds are actually in our favor. We have 800 eggs to go, and the odds are 1 in 512. Now, I know the odds were pretty bad against us when we last did the 800 eggs, but you know what? I'm hopeful this time. I already got one of the shinies, I just need one more. If we have 800 eggs ahead of us, the odds are in our favor. Man, I hope the music's not too loud. So let's see, today in Pokemon Go, I caught a lot of shiny Pokemon, and there was no event today. Like no community day, no boosted shiny odds, at least I don't think so. I just lucked out and got a ton of shinies. So let me first start off by saying yesterday I caught a shiny Halloween costume Pumpkaboo. Today I caught a shiny Halloween costume Vulpix. And then I caught another shiny Halloween costume Pumpkaboo. And then I caught another shiny Halloween costume Vulpix. And then I caught a Halloween costume shiny Pikachu. And then on my way home, I caught yet another shiny Halloween costume Pumpkaboo. Okay, let's recap. Today I caught 3 shiny Halloween costume Pumpkaboos, 2 shiny Halloween costume Vulpix, and 1 Halloween costume shiny Pikachu. Today I caught 6 shinies in Pokemon Go, all of them costume Pokemon. You know what the sad part is, though? This Halloween, they added a brand new costume, a brand new Halloween costume for Rowlet and Froakie. Now, you guys know they evolve into 2 of my all-time favorite Pokemon. So I wanted at least one of them shiny. I got every costume shiny but them. I got every costume shiny besides the ones I wanted. I at least hoped to get a decent IV one, you know. I'm not too sure which, what the best IVs are for a Froakie I caught. But for a Rowlet, I did get a 96 IV costume Rowlet. It goes 15, 13, 15. So, attack and HP are maxed out, defense is at 13. Pretty good for a costume. So I will most likely fully evolve that and then best buddy it because I love Decidueye. So yeah, I got 6 shinies in Pokemon Go today. Alright, so for today I have 3 episodes of shows to talk about, none of which are from. So we have the last 2 episodes of Agatha All Along to talk about, episodes 8 and 9. And then we have Penguin, episode 6. I watched all 3 just before doing this, because I just didn't have really any time at all to watch them beforehand. So just before doing this, I literally watched all 3. I watched it during dinner. Instead of washing the dishes after dinner, I was watching the episodes. And once the episodes, all 3 of them were done, well, here I am now. I'll be honest, I didn't even know Agatha was doing 2 episodes as its finale. I didn't know that. So I was confused online. Everyone's saying the Agatha finale. I'm like, isn't there one more episode after this? Oh, they released both episodes together. Yeah, I guess, since I think they technically came out yesterday. So yesterday on October 30th, you know, they wanted to release both just in time for Halloween. Okay. I don't know why they didn't just release it one day afterwards. 10 out of 10 release. I'm wondering, like, why didn't they just, you know, instead of Wednesdays releasing the episodes, why didn't they just release it on Thursday? Because then technically the episodes would have came out today on Halloween Day, October 31st. The final 2 episodes would have came out today and not yesterday. So I don't know why they pushed it a day before. Maybe they thought everyone would be busy trick-or-treating instead of watching the episode. Maybe that's the case. Whatever. So yeah, we have Agatha's last 2 episodes, and then Penguin episode 6. I've also been seeing a lot of praise online for Agatha, which was pretty unexpected. A lot of people praising that the show is actually good. It's actually not too bad. It's watchable. It's actually pretty good and enjoyable. And I will give credit where credit's due. Agatha all along actually wasn't too bad of a show. Sure, there was some, annoying woke dialogue, and then sometimes the practical effects made it look very cheap. But aside from that, production was good, acting was good, story was pretty good. It wasn't that bad. I enjoyed my time with it. Aside from, the woke moments. Especially episode, I believe 7, the one with Lilia. That episode got a lot of praise. A lot of people were liking that episode. I liked that episode too. I did. Except for, the woke lines, that one line with, that one line about being queer. And then I think Lilia said something about it's degrading being in a dress. Aside from small moments like that, the show actually wasn't that bad. It was pretty enjoyable. It was still woke, especially with what we're about to discuss with these episodes. Alright, so let's get started. So episode 8. How did it start? Episode 8, so we get our usual recaps. Last time we learned that Rio is Death. She is Lady Death in the MCU. Which, I kind of find pretty hilarious. That now there is no official character aside from Death. There's no human character on Earth in 2 universes that look like Aubrey Plaza. I'm still not sure if the Legion TV show is even connected to the X-Men films. It could be, it could not be. The X-Men films don't really acknowledge it at all. So, if you squint, you can say it's canon to it. Because, I forget what her character's name was in that show. I'll be honest, I actually didn't even finish that show. I never watched the 3rd season. But I do know she is... What was his name? Shadow King. I think she was like the Shadow King in disguise or whatever. So, let's say on the X-Men universe, Earth 10,005, there is nobody on Earth who looks like Aubrey Plaza because she was really the Shadow King in disguise. At least I think so. And then in the MCU, she's Death. So maybe the Shadow King decided to coincidentally look just like Death. Or vice versa, I guess, because Death can take on any appearance she wants. Whatever. So, let's see. This time, the episode starts off with, I think, Agatha and Death chatting. So, it's revealed that Death wants Billy Maximoff because he's supposed to be dead, I think. Or something like he possessed the dead body of William Kaplan. So Death wants Billy, but she can't just take him because if she does, he'll just reincarnate into another body. So she needs him to come with her willingly. Agatha basically strikes a deal with her. I can get him to voluntarily come with you, and in exchange, you leave me alone. One day when Agatha dies, she doesn't want to see her face. So they strike a deal. So now the Coven is down. Oh, wait a second. The episode starts off with Alice. Right. It starts off with Alice being dead and, being taken by Death to the afterlife, I guess. So at least it was nice to see Alice one last time. So anyways, yeah, now the Coven is small. It's shrunken down significantly since Alice died, Lilia died, Rio turned out to be Death. I wonder why her name even was Rio Vidal. I think that was her last name. Why did Death go by the alias of Rio? I don't know if Rio Vidal is a character in the comics or not. Maybe she is, and they just combined the two characters, or maybe Rio is just a made-up name for the show, just to hide Death's identity from the audience. So now the coven's down to 3. It's down to Agatha, Billy, and Jen. Well, they're on their way to the last trial. And actually, it seems like they circled back to the beginning of the trial, where their shoes are. They took their shoes off in respect for the road. But now it's like, screw the road, we're putting back on our shoes. Spoilers, were you really going to watch it anyways? So they put their shoes on, and that actually initiates the final trial. And then they show up in this almost like kind of morgue place. Because they all wake up in body bags. They all get out. They all have personal items with them. They realize they're in a growing room. These are growing lights. They need to grow something. With no soil and no water. Well, we learned that it was actually Agatha who bound Jen like 100 years ago. So not just some random guy who I forget his place in the plot. That dude was really hired for one scene in like the 3rd episode. I'll be honest, I kind of expected Jen to die just because was kind of the pattern happening. First Alice died, then Lilia died. I was thinking, well, I guess Jen's dying next. So yeah, we find out that Agatha was the one who bound Jen, not intentionally. So then Jen gets her powers back from Agatha, and then she just disappears for some reason. Okay, now it's just down to Agatha and Billy. So they sit down, they talk about like trying to find Tommy. And, well, it seems like they almost killed a random person who was drowning in a swimming pool in order for Tommy to possess his dead body as well. Well, that didn't play out. So, we still don't see Tommy in this show. Like, even to the very end. Tommy is not in the show. We still don't know where Tommy is. Well, anyway, so... yeah, Billy disappears for some reason. And then Agatha opens her... well, actually, no. The moment Billy disappeared, the floor beneath him cracked, revealing soil. Agatha opens her brooch. Not only is there a tuft of, Nicholas Scratch's hair, but there's also a little dandelion seed. The white ones. She's also crying, so she uses her tear to water the seed and to plant the seed. And then it grows, so she passes the trial. She finally passed the trial, so she leaves, and then she winds back up in Westview, with Lady Death just laughing, cackling on top of the rooftop. I just found it hilarious that the residents of Westview were just like, again? This is happening again? Like, poor Westview. Westview just can't catch a break. First the Scarlet Witch puts a hex on the city, and now, well, you have Agatha Harkness fighting death in the city. Well, not in the city, it's a town. It's a very small town. But, like, all the residents of Westview just can't catch a break. So, Death is just like, well, you didn't fulfill your promise. He was supposed to volunteer himself willingly. Where is he now? I guess I'll take you instead. And then she tries to kill Agatha. Death by 1,000 cuts. Well, Billy shows up in his complete Wiccan comic accurate outfit. I still find it kind of hilarious they low-key recast Billy Maximoff. They kind of wrote themselves a way to recast him. To cast someone older so they could have a young Avengers, right? The kid who actually played Billy Maximoff in WandaVision and then Multiverse of Madness, if they wanted him to come back, they would have to patiently wait for him to age up. But then all the other characters, like Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, they all would have aged up as well, so they can't do a young Avengers. So they found a way to recast him, which I find kind of hilarious. Now it's like, well, is he still a variant of Billy Maximoff? Because remember in Multiverse of Madness, he was still played by the other kid. So, like, does he still count as a variant? I guess so. Anyways. So, yeah. Wiccan shows up, and he gives some of his power to Agatha, powering her up. Enough to maybe have a chance to fight off death for a little bit, but, you know, she's death. You just can't fight her. So then, you know, they have to decide. One of us has to go with her. Either it's Agatha or it's Billy. Billy volunteers, and then Agatha's like, well, you heard him. He volunteered. Take him. I feel like Agatha was genuine in, you know, wanting to sacrifice him for a moment. And then Billy was in her mind, like, is this how Nikki died? Like Nicholas Scratch. So then Agatha sacrifices herself by kissing death. Not gonna lie, the scene was pretty hot. It was woke, but still hot. You know, Agatha Harkness and, let's face it, Aubrey Plaza making out. So, she dies from that, for some reason. I guess you kiss death, you die. Sure. So, she falls down onto the grass and dies. A lot of flowers bloom in her place. I noticed this parallel when Billy was leaving town, was leaving Westview. He was still in his Wiccan costume, so he put his hood on as he was getting ready to leave Westview. Kind of like what his mother did, you know? You remember at the end of WandaVision? She did this, like, she used magic to make a hood appear, and then she flew away from Westview. And I couldn't help but notice the parallel. Like mother, like son. They both did the same thing as they were leaving the same place. So, Agatha's dead. Billy goes back to the Kaplan family. While Billy's home, he notices a lot of stuff in his room kind of correlates with the Witch's Road. He had a... Okay, not all the eggs were hatched there. He had a, like, figurine display of Alice in Wonderland. He had Lorna Woo's, like, poster of the Witch's Ballad. He had shoes. I think they were fake shoes, like toy shoes, but still, he had shoes. He had an Ouija board in his room. So the pieces are kind of falling together. It's kind of like he conjured up the Witch's Road. Kind of like how Wanda unwillingly, like, you know, unconsciously conjured up the Hex. It seems like Billy conjured up the Witch's Road. And then we find out later that exactly is the case. There is no Witch's Road. The Witch's Road doesn't exist. It was actually just Billy's magic that manifested the Witch's Road based on, like, you know, the stuff that he had around his room to influence what the road would look like, what the many trials would be like. I did not see that twist coming. That was a pretty neat twist. I don't think I saw anyone predict that. So then the episode kind of ends with a pretty, I don't want to say poorly acted moment, because it made better sense in the next episode. So Billy hears cackling behind him. He turns around. He hears a boo, and then he just screams, ah, and then the episode ends. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't, the ah after the boo felt like there could have been more, you know, more energy put behind it, but it felt better in the next episode when, you know, you actually see everything play out. So that was episode 8. Episode 9, we actually start like half the episode, more than half the episode, flashing back to, you know, I guess you could say Agatha's origin story without, like, the Witch of Salem? I forget what it's called. You know, the flashback we saw in WandaVision of her stealing her, you know, the Salem's powers, like, it didn't cut to that. I think this probably takes place after that, or I don't know. I'm not too sure. I can't remember when that scene took place. So this episode, episode 9, the last episode, it actually starts off in 1750. So this is like 250 years before the events of the MCU for the most part. 1750. Now let's mention a couple things we know about this time period. Well, some broad things. We know that Thanos is out there somewhere. Thanos is what, 1,000 something years old? So 1750, he's alive and somewhere out there. 1750, the Eternals are also somewhere out there. They were here on Earth for 7,000 years. What's 250 years prior? Well, yeah, 1750 is way before any events in the MCU. You know, it's before Hydra, it's before Captain America. Thor is out there somewhere, as well as Loki. And you know, I also remembered something while watching this show. Remember when Frigga mentioned that she was raised by witches? Can you imagine that? Imagine if Agatha met Frigga and the witches have raised her. Ooh. Imagine if... Damn. If only there was a moment where they mentioned Frigga of Asgard in the show. That would have been cool. It would have been unnecessary, but it still would have been cool. Anyway, so 1750, we see this is the moment Agatha's giving birth to Nicholas Scratch. But as she's giving birth, she actually sees death. And, you know, it seems like this is after she made the deal with death. Like, she will sacrifice something she loves for the Darkhold. And, well, it's going to be her son. So there's no way to undo the deal. The only thing death can do is buy some time. But she doesn't specify how much time. So Agatha, you know, she wants to spend every moment with her son as, you know, as lovingly as she can. Because she doesn't know when death will come for her son. And I gotta say also, Agatha kind of just powered through giving birth to him. We barely saw any struggle. We heard some painful moans. And then the next scene, he just popped out. I thought childbirth took hours. And I thought it'd be, you know, more painful than that. Then again, I'm a guy, I will never know. So like, wow, she just, you know, toughed it out. She just sucked it up and just gave birth to Nicholas Scratch. No problem whatsoever. Okay, let's change up the music a little bit. So then we see what Agatha does in order to survive and also, you know, feed her child. Because it's just the two of them. I think this has to be after she killed her Salem. Because, you know, they're nowhere around. So we see Agatha actually, first of all, like, sing a precursor version of the Witch's Ballad with him. But we also see Agatha just constantly kill other witches, absorb their power to make herself stronger. I guess make her immortal. I don't know if she's in general immortal or if she needs to do that in order to stay young looking. So, yeah, we see Agatha just kills a whole bunch of witches. Yeah, the two of them sing a precursor version to the Witch's Road ballad, which I guess that's the origin of the song. Agatha and her son made it up. Then again, they almost imply it like the Witch's Ballad was a thing before that. So it's like, which came first? Was it a song that already existed and Agatha and her son Nicholas were just singing it, slowly changing the lyrics over time? Or did they make it up and then, you know, the rumors of the Witch's Road spread because of them? I think I need to watch a breakdown. Remember, I just watched the episode just before starting this. Well, it's just Agatha and Nicholas, and I gotta say the acting was phenomenal here. You really feel like it actually is a mother and her son. The acting was superb in these moments. But sadly, one night, Agatha was sleeping with Nicholas. Nicholas wakes up and sees Death holding a green flame torch. I wonder if that was CGI. They CGI'd the flame to be green, or if that was practical. I don't know what chemical you need to use to make fire green, but I'm sure it's possible. I feel like they probably just CGI'd fire. They CGI'd the fire to look green. So, yeah, Death takes Nicholas Scratch. Agatha wakes up to his dead body. She buries him. And then this random other witch shows up. Because Agatha's singing the precursor witch's ballad to her son's grave. This other witch hears the ballad, thinking that, Agatha, knowing the ballad, can lead her to this fabled witch's road, where the end has a prize worth any hardship. So then Agatha makes up on the spot, like, we need a coven in order to access the witch's road. And then we get this montage. It turns out that throughout the years, throughout history, Agatha has been playing this con the whole time. She lures in, unsuspected witches with the guise of the witch's road. They sing the ballad. It doesn't work because the witch's road isn't a thing. So then Agatha gets all pissed off. It's like, are any of you witches even, useful for anything? So all the witches get mad and blast her with their power. And we know what happens when they do that. Agatha absorbs all their power and kills them. So we get a montage of, throughout the years, throughout the ages, Agatha just tricking other witches to doing that. Singing the song, pissing them off, and then killing them by absorbing their power. Just like we saw her try to do in the second episode. She lured in Lilia, Jen, and Alice, sang the song, and even tried to piss them off, like, oh, just blast me, you bitches. Like, she planned to kill them from the start. What was different this time? Why did the Witch's Road actually show up? Because Billy was there. Because he manifested the road's existence with his magic. I did not see that twist coming. That's a pretty good twist, I'm not gonna lie. So, none of it was real from the start. Well, and then we cut back to present day. Billy turns around, it's Agatha's ghost behind him, and we get a comic accurate looking Agatha Harkness with the white hair. Pretty cool. I didn't think we would ever get a comic accurate white haired Agatha Harkness, but we did. Sadly, that does mean Agatha's dead. So now moving forward, Agatha Harkness in the MCU is dead. So that kind of sucks. We will never get a reunion between Scarlet Witch and Agatha Harkness unless she sees Agatha's ghost, that is. So we will never see the two of them on screen again, like physically on screen again. It's be like, hello Wanda, it's been a while. Agatha. Or do you prefer I call you Agnes? We will never see them on screen again. That's kind of sad. So, yeah, it turns out that Billy really did manifest the Witch's Road, and then he starts blaming himself because he feels like he killed everyone who died on the road. He killed Sharon Davis. Agatha, to this moment, is still like, who's that? He killed Lilia. He killed Alice, so he blames himself for that. He then goes back to, Westview, Agatha's basement. He tries to do this spell to, what was it again? Oh, he was trying to banish Agatha. But then, she doesn't want to because she just can't face her son again. She can't face her son yet in the afterlife. So by the end, it's like Billy and Agatha team up and try to find Tommy. So, and then that's where it ends. They leave the ending open to, possibly a season 2. I don't know how they could do a season 2 if, it's Agatha all along and Agatha's dead. I don't know how well a season 2 would be if your main character's dead. So I think this is it. I don't think there's going to be a season 2. Will we see these characters return? Maybe someday. Where? Probably not a movie. Right? And if not a season 2 and not a movie, then in someone else's series? So it's hard. Unless they do a season 2, which alone would be pretty hard to do, it'd be hard to bring back these characters. Especially if they're going to tell a story of finding Tommy. I mean, I can think of one place where these characters might show up. And it's not the White Vision Quest series. It's actually that rumored Scarlet Witch solo movie. Maybe they could show back up then. Wanda meets her, reincarnated son as well as the ghost of Agatha, and they try to find Tommy. So, we'll see. We'll see if these characters ever return. So, that's Agatha all along. Agatha all along. All 9 episodes have come and gone. The show wasn't too bad, aside from all the woke moments. So yeah, there you go, Agatha all along. Before I talk about Penguin, let me first also mention that coming up, December is going to be quite stacked. December is going to have a ton of content to watch. Let me see. December we are getting Creature Commandos. We are getting Season 3 of What If, as well as Season 2 of Squid Game. So December is going to be stacked. Creature Commandos is going to be the first project in James Gunn's new DCU. Quite an odd thing to have as your first project, but whatever. It looked great. The trailer looked great. So I'm definitely really excited. And then What If Season 3? I'm pretty sure Season 3 is meant to be the final season of What If. Let's face it, they butchered the idea of What If badly. They gave us, the smallest possible what if scenarios. Like, what if Yondu picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill? It's like, that's a very small what if, right? So, they didn't go as big into the what if concept as we all hoped. And you know what? Just like last year was Season 2 of What If, it seems like they're going to release one episode a day. Like they did last year for the holiday season. They release an episode a day for the whole season. It's not exactly the best, release schedule, but they have so much to release, I guess. And then we already know Squid Game Season 2. Squid Game is on Netflix. Netflix just releases all the episodes at once. When that happens, I'll probably just watch an episode a day instead of just binge watching all the episodes at once. Because it's more enjoyable then. It's more enjoyable that way. Wish they did more stories like The Strange Supreme. No overarching story, just individual stories each episode. That's why Season 1 works so well. I don't mind that there is an overarching story. Season 1 was pretty much a... Crap, what's it called again? It's not an analog, it's a... Crap, why am I blanking on the word? The word that means, like, each episode is its own story. Anthology, yes, thank you, that's it. Season 1 was an anthology series for the most part, until, you know, Infinity Ultron. I like that, actually. I didn't mind... Can you just focus? I didn't mind that storytelling. Season 2, the story wasn't that great. You know, the episodes of Season 2 weren't that great. I still don't really understand the episode where we were in the Middle Ages because Steve Rogers hit the time stone on the Infinity Gauntlet. That kind of didn't really make sense to me, but whatever, right? And then What If also introduced Kahori, which I thought What If wasn't allowed to introduce new characters before the movies, right? I thought that was just a rule that they establish on their own. If a character hasn't appeared in the movies yet, then they can't use a new character. They can't introduce a brand new character. I don't know. So yeah, December is going to be stacked. 3 shows coming out December that at least I'm going to be watching. But until then, until December, I do have a couple other shows to keep me busy. Just because, well, Agatha's now over. The Penguin will be over in a couple weeks. Daryl Dixon only has 1 episode left in Season 2. Superman and Lois, well, actually, we're only halfway into that season. So, some of the shows I'm watching now are going to be ending soon. So, until December, I do have a couple of shows to keep me busy. I want to check out Edge of Sleep just because Markiplier's in it. That's the whole reason. That's the only reason. I'm going to check out Edge of Sleep only because Markiplier's in it. That's it. You know, I also still have to get started on The Boys and Gen V. I still have Dead Boy Detectives to check out, even though that show's cancelled. I'm only watching it in case it has any sort of connection to Season 2 of Sandman. Whenever that comes out. If it comes out. And if it doesn't, and if it does and there's no connection, then I would have wasted my time watching Dead Boy Detectives. But I'll still give it a shot, even if it is cancelled. So aside from those, there are a couple other things for me to watch. I still haven't seen Season 2 of Oshinoko. I still haven't seen... and what a title this is. Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feeling in Russian. Like, that was a popular summer anime, and now it's damn near winter. So I'm super late watching that, but still. So I have all those shows, not from, to watch until December. So, you know, I have a lot of things to keep me entertained. Alright. I've been waiting to ramble about this. So before I talk about Penguin, I just want to reminisce a bit with you guys. Because this bozo watching me right now, man, he ruined something magical at the time. So you guys know the story. I recommended a couple shows for him to watch. He complained about the Rick and Shane car scene in the pilot episode of Walking Dead. I'm not going to let him live that down. I even looked up that scene too. The scene was 4 minutes. This dude complained about 4 minutes of characters talking when he recommended a show like From for me to watch. So I want to reminisce a bit and discuss, like, well, not really discuss, but, you know, just remind you guys of some of the great moments in the Arrowverse. Now, I will admit, at first, the Arrowverse was great, and then it kind of went downhill. I admit, but still, it had really good moments. And this guy ruined it. He ruined the magic that I tried to set him on. You know, I recommended that while watching Arrow Season 2, no, Arrow Season 3 and Flash Season 1, because remember, you watch both of those at the same time. I recommended that while watching Arrow Season 3 and Flash Season 1, that he also watches Constantine mixed in, just so he could be surprised in Season 4 to see Constantine show up. Season 4 of Arrow, when Constantine showed up, that way he could be surprised. That would have been such a great moment. Instead of him watching Season 4 and then randomly this guy named Constantine show up, he would have no idea who he is. They even referenced the Constantine show, albeit one single very minor reference, but still, right? Now, the reason I recommended he do that, like watch Constantine while watching Flash and Arrow, because I made the mistake of not doing that. I watch Arrow Season 3 and Flash Season 1, and then after I finished watching those seasons, I learned of the existence of the Constantine show and the fact that it's connected, or was retconned to be connected. So I went back and watched all 13 or 14 episodes, I think it's 13, you know, before the show got canceled. I went back and watched it. It was not great. And the fact that binging only Constantine wasn't great. I would have much rather watched it in between Flash and Arrow episodes, so that's why I recommended him do that. Yeah, you say you did watch Constantine, but you never saw Season 4 of Arrow to see why you watched the show. So you just wasted your time watching the show. Congratulations, you played yourself. You told me it was bad? Well, you told me From was good. So, what do you got to say about that? Man, I also want to, you know, it gets good. Yeah, I also want to think back to a couple highlights of the Arrowverse. Remember when Supergirl, like on the Supergirl show, the Flash just randomly showed up? Remember that? And then a couple episodes later, we see the Flash's perspective. The fact that he ran so fast, he accidentally ran to a different Earth. Oh, that would have been so cool. Now, I wasn't around that time when it happened on TV, because at the time, I didn't start watching the shows yet, but I knew it happened. To find out that the Supergirl show from another network, another channel, was now connected to, you know, all these shows via multiverse shenanigans. And then there's also minor crossovers, minor things that play into other shows. Remember in Arrow, when Oliver's identity was almost revealed to the public? And then literally the next episode of The Flash, you see a newspaper article that said something like Oliver Queen, possibly Green Arrow? It's like little connections like that that made it so cool. And then you see other moments, like characters disappearing from a show, only to find out that character went to another show. Remember on Flash, when we didn't see Wally West for a long time? He went to Legends of Tomorrow. That was cool! And then, you know, there were other small things as well. Trying to think what else happened that was really cool. Oh yeah, man, something that he probably would not have picked up on regardless. I would have told him the reference, though nowadays, like, he probably won't remember it anyways. Remember in the Season 1 finale of The Flash, Eobard Thawne name-dropped Rip Hunter? And then we learn who Rip Hunter is later on in Legends of Tomorrow. That was cool! I don't think we will ever get anything like this again on TV. All these connected shows, we will never get that again. Because all we have is streaming nowadays. Shut the hell up, you do not remember that. Man, he ruined something magical at the time. I tried to recommend this guy's, awesome content at the time. We all know that the Arrowverse went downhill later on, but still, like at the time, we see all these interconnected stories between all these shows. It was cool. I tried to get him into something cool. Well, he squandered the opportunity, so it's just like, man, you did this to yourself. You ruined something awesome for yourself. And I would not have blamed you for stopping to watch the shows if say you watched up to like season 4 of Legends where it really went downhill. I would not blame you, right? But you didn't even give the show a chance. You didn't even get to the awesome season 2 of Legends where they fought against the Legion of Doom. So, like, you didn't even get to the awesome stuff. You quit before all the cool stuff happened. Man, it's like, man, at that point, it's like, well, you're on your own. I can't help you anymore. Quit Walking Dead after season 2. And sadly, a lot of the shows, what happened to them is mostly the CW to blame. Because the CW network turned super woke. So, The Flash later on became extremely woke. Batwoman was just a woke show in general. Supergirl turned extremely woke in the later seasons. Season 6 was a mess, by the way. Season 6 as a final season was an absolute mess. Not as big a mess as Flash's final season. Legends of Tomorrow, while, yes, the show completely changed from a drama to a comedy, which nobody liked, they still had 7 seasons. It was a long-running show, and then it was canceled. Mostly because of the network acquisition, but still, it's like, they did get canceled, sadly. Batwoman was canceled. Honestly, not too many people were upset about that. But it's like, well, the people like me who actually, put in the time to watch that crap, well, it ended on a cliffhanger. So it's like, we'll never get an answer to that. And speaking of cliffhangers, Eric Wallace had a perfect opportunity to wrap up a storyline from Arrow. Yeah, he didn't do that. Mia Queen never found William. And he had the perfect opportunity to wrap that story up. He didn't. That story will just never be answered. Good job, Eric Wallace. There were also other cool moments too. Like, I forget exactly which episode of Arrow this was in, just because there's a lot of Arrow episodes. He needed a favor from Barry, and he just randomly shows up. Albeit a CGI version, but still, technically the Flash did show up. So it was cool. Just a complete random moment in the episode. Oliver called, Captain Singh for I can't remember what, because it's been so long. Captain Singh's like, I need proof that you really are the Green Arrow. So he texts Barry, and Barry just runs over, puts a sticky note on his computer. He's legit. It's like small moments. That was cool. Oh well, he gave up on the Arrowverse before it really got a chance to pick up. He will never watch Invasion, which also landed on Arrow's 100th episode. He will never watch Crisis on Earth X, Crisis on Infinite Earth, see all those cameos. I mean, he still could and spoil everything, but it's like, at this point, why should I bother? Why should I even bother with this guy anymore? Is it worth starting Superman and Lois, though, without any context from other shows? See, that's... Technically, yes, but also no. See, Superman and Lois is kind of confusing. You can tell at first Season 1 was meant to be in the Arrowverse, but then by Season 3, or actually at the end of Season 2, they retconned it to be their own thing, so it's not connected. That's why I have the unpopular opinion, and I swear to God, nobody else has this opinion but me. I believe Seasons 1 and 2 is Arrowverse, and Season 3 and 4 are not. So half the show is not in the same universe. I mean, they recast Jonathan, for God's sake. So, you know, in my mind, the events of Seasons 1 and 2 played out exactly the same for Seasons 3 and 4, you know, on a different Earth. The only major difference is Jonathan looks different. And then it's by Season 3 that the storyline splits, you know. The Earth Prime Superman and Lois characters do their own thing. And then, you know, these guys on a separate Earth with the Michael Cutlets looking Lex Luthor, yeah, the story splits there. So that's my opinion. It's an unpopular opinion, but, you know, why even argue? The show's ending soon anyways. Like, Season 1 of Superman and Lois had John Diggle show up and even reference Oliver. So clearly it was meant to be in the Arrowverse initially, but then they retconned it with that stupid line. You know, thank God Superman is on this Earth, because he's all we have. He's the only superhero we have. And yes, I know people will question, like, well, if Season 1 and 2 are Earth Prime, like you say, how do you explain that line? Wouldn't that be a continuity error? You're really telling me that the Flash show as a whole isn't a continuity error? You're telling me there are no continuity errors in the Arrowverse at all? I don't know, maybe Sam Lane meant it as, like, he's the only Superman we have. There is no other being like Superman. Supergirl, but, like, they're different, you know? Their power level is different. Yes, they're similar, but they're also different. You know, at first I was thinking maybe he meant the only Kryptonian, but then I thought, well, no, they're Supergirl. And then they also know Tal-Rho is now a Kryptonian, so no. So I'm thinking, you know, if my stupid-ass theory is in play, I'm thinking he meant Superman's the only Superman they have on the Earth. You know, Superman's steel hasn't really been established yet. There really isn't a Superboy just yet. There is no Legion of Supermen yet. So it's just Superman in terms of the only Superman they have. Because let's face it, there's no hero like Superman. Anyways, what was the Markiplier show? It's called The Edge of Sleep. I heard it's based on a podcast, which I have no idea what that podcast would be. I think it's the same title, but, like, you know. Geez, already been listening to this for half an hour. Alright, let's talk about Penguin. The actual excellent show, unlike From. So let's see. The beginning of this episode, episode 6, this episode actually had a time skip. I'm not sure by how long. Later on in the episode, Squid, whose name I forgot last episode, Squid mentioned he saw Victor with the old lady, so Oz's mom. He saw them a couple days ago. I don't think it's only been a couple days, because their new drug operation looks pretty well built up. I doubt only a couple days has passed. To me, it looks like a couple weeks to, just like a month or two has passed. Bare minimum, a handful of weeks has passed. Because they now have an entire operation base for the drug empire. They have an entire crew. Hell, Victor is more well versed into this life now. He rides a motorcycle. He has a gun with him now. So quite some time has passed. What the hell has Bruce Wayne been doing this whole time? I don't know. So we see what everyone's been up to since this time jump. We see that Oz's Bliss operation has been thriving. And then we see the other villain characters. We see Sophia Gigante now. Well, she actually got together with Julian Rush, to nobody's surprise. We got a very naked scene with Julian. He was very much without any pants on, but they couldn't show any penis meat. So they cleverly, had the camera at such an angle where you see he clearly doesn't have underwear on, but you also don't see any meat. You don't see any of the package as well. So then we see, Sophia and Salvatore. The two of them discuss what they're going to do when they find Oz. In fact, they're discussing how to find Oz. They need to find someone he cares about. So, Sophia and Sal, they actually go through Sal's home. They don't find anything. Oz's brothers are dead. They're actually under the impression that Oz's mother is dead as well. Interesting. Oz's father is a no-show. So after rummaging through Oz's house, they actually find a picture of... I forgot her name. What was the character's name? Eve, that's it. Oh my god, how'd I forget that? They find a picture of Eve, so, obviously they're gonna go and talk to her to try to find Oz. There's also other moments, so in the shitty Crown Point little apartment that they're laying low in, well, the power's out. There's no heat for Oz's mother, Frances. Oz actually takes it into his own hands to go over to Gotham, go into the rich part of Gotham and try to get someone, what's his name, to turn the power back on in Crown Point. He grabs a pair of pliers, not Markiplier, but still a pair of pliers, and just pinches the dude's nose so hard, like, oh god, that you can just feel the pain. We also get development, like, I don't know where this is going. Regardless, it's going in a very sad direction. So we know Oz's mother has dementia. It's also revealed that she also has other things like Alzheimer's and one other thing I forget. So, her mind isn't always there. But when she was there, she asked her son to basically kill her if her mind goes before her body does. She doesn't want to, be one of those unfortunate souls who live as a vegetable, as it's called. So she actually asks her son to kill her if that ever happens. Well, there's also moments where Victor gets confronted by Squid. Now, man, I was really hoping to see Oz beat the shit out of Squid, like maybe beat him to death. Oh, that would have been great to see, but that's not what happened. So Squid keeps on pushing Victor to be like, yo, I see you got money now. Yo, like, involve me. Let me into the job. I want to make some money. Yo, let me talk to your boss. I want to make some money. I want to work with you. But then, you know, that's a problem, right? Because Squid, he's a bad guy, according to Victor. So later on, Squid kind of threatens, like, you think you can pay me off, Victor? What if I go over to, you know, the Falcons or the Maronis? I hear they're looking for Oz. I could go to them and, you know, make some real money. So what does Victor do? He actually kills him. This is the first time we see Victor kill someone. But he does it in a sloppy kind of way. He shoots Squid in the neck, so he dies a slow, painful death. Instead of, you know, through the head, nice and clean. Instant. So this being Victor's first kill, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of sad to see. And then there's this scene where, trying to find Oz, Sophia goes to Eve's apartment. They have a really tense discussion. It was really tense. You didn't know if Sophia was going to kill her or not. I don't think there was any music, so it was just the two actresses talking. It was tense. Well, ultimately, she doesn't kill Eve. It's revealed that she knows that Oz screwed Sophia over. So she doesn't kill Eve, but Eve actually gives up Oz, gives up his location. She says to Sophia, Crown Point, next to the zoo. So now Sophia knows roughly where Oz is. Oz also has his meeting with other, you know, gang leaders, triads and others, where a couple episodes ago we had Sophia do her inspiring speech to get an army behind her, and now we see the opposite. We see Oz do his inspiring speech to get people behind him, to try to take back Gotham. Also, Oz trying to get a hand up in, you know, this whole drug race kind of thing. Instead of, you know, trying to earn a little bit of money, he does an investment. He gives the drug for free. He gives everyone on the street a free taste, causing some demand. So everyone on the streets of Gotham suddenly get a taste of this new drug. It's like, hey, this is some good shit. Where can I get more? And then, you know, the demand will go up, and then their prices go through the roof. Well, not price, but their, you know, their purchases go through the roof or whatever. Their sales. You just love to see your protagonist drug lord empire, you know, like drug dealer, succeed. You love to see it. Well, by the end of the episode, the power comes back in Crown Point. Victor and Francis, Oz's mother, are dancing. I noticed this when the music came back on. Victor heard a noise. He turns his head and then ignores it. So I knew instantly something was up. Something happened. So as they're dancing, the camera pans out and Sophia's there. Sophia's there. She learns Oz's mother is alive. And she has a crowbar in her hand. She sees Victor dancing with Francis, and Sophia's just standing there with a crowbar in her hand. What's she gonna do? You know, as payback to the guy who killed her brother? Ooh, we'll have to find out next episode. This show is beyond excellent. This show is so incredible so far. Man, I've seen so many videos and, you know, like video essays praising the show. Praising Colin Farrell specifically on his transformation into Oz. You know, sometimes even I forget that underneath all those prosthetics, it's Colin Farrell. Sometimes even I forget I'm watching Colin Farrell. Like, it is so incredible. You guys ever see the behind the scenes transformation, like Colin doing the makeup to turn into Oz? It's amazing. You know, I don't remember where I heard this. I saw a comment quite a while ago. You know, it was commenting on Colin Farrell playing Penguin. The comment went something like, the lengths they will go to not cast an ugly person to play the role. Man, aren't we glad that they did? Not all the eggs are hatched, by the way. Aren't we glad that they did? That they didn't go out of their way to cast an ugly person. Instead, they casted Colin Farrell. If it wasn't for Colin Farrell, we would not have this masterpiece that is the Penguin. Well, I'm out of things to talk about. How you guys doing? You guys alright? Aside from getting 6 costume shinies in Pokemon Go today, we also got the Pansear today. So today's a pretty successful day on the shiny, you know, the shiny mark. What? On the shiny front. We just need one more Pansear. Just one more, please. I really don't want to be hunting Pansear anymore, I'll be honest. Just because of what there is to hunt next, being Panpour, you know, the one with the best shiny. Not just because it's actually vibrant and really different, but also because that, you know, it just genuinely looks nice. You know, I was actually thinking, like, man, I don't really like doing it this way. You know, collecting a certain number of eggs and then purposely not collecting more in order to pre-walk the eggs. But it's like, I just don't want to pre-walk the eggs in general. It really doesn't make a difference, you know? Whether I pre-walk them now or later. I just don't like pre-walking the eggs. Because they're not fun to do, you know? Not fun in the slightest. Well, let's see. By tomorrow, the Halloween event for Pokemon Go will end. Because, you know, tomorrow is the 1st of November. AKA Christmas time. We also have the 7-star Terra for Alligator coming up, I think literally tomorrow. What am I doing? Did I put eggs back in yet? Yeah, I did. Good. Just wanted to make sure. Oh, no, I just checked my game. The Feraligator's up now. Oh, I gotta make a build for that then. Or rather, go online, steal whatever build idea the internet has. We sure know I'm not coming up with it myself. You know, something else I've debated if I want a shiny hunt or not. So, of all games, I was wondering, what can I shiny hunt in BDSP of all games? So I looked through, you know, the Pokedex from Gens 1 to 4, just to see, like, are there any good-looking shinies that I want to shiny hunt? Well, all the shinies that I would want to hunt are beyond Gen 4, so none of them are on the board. So I was kind of thinking, like, well, you know, I do have some, there are some spectacular shinies I would love to hunt, like Boldore and Gigalith, Honedge, Well, sadly, those Pokemon aren't even in BDSP, so I can't hunt them even if I wanted to. So I looked through, the entire list of shiny Pokemon, seeing what really jumps out at me. Yes, there are vibrant ones that I could hunt, but I just don't want to. Something like a Nidoking. I don't know, I could. I don't really want to. Well, something that caught my eye that, I literally just hunted for. Maybe I can hunt for a Milotic in that game. I sure as hell am not doing the, legitimate method that is like finding the square patch you have to fish it up out of and then, shiny hunting it like that. Oh, hell no. And I sure as hell am not evolving it legitimately with the Poffins. So what I'm thinking what I might do is I just go into my living decks, throw a Feebas into the game, breed for it, and then to evolve it, throw it into another game, trade it with a Prism Scale, and then throw it back into BDSP. Because if I am to hunt for it in BDSP, I sure as hell am not doing any of it legitimately. I will breed for it, and I will evolve it into in a different game. Like, if I take a look here at all the shiny Pokemon from Gens 1 to 4. Oh, you want to know something that I never even noticed until recently? I didn't even notice that for the first couple of generations, there was a trend with mythicals, how they have to be small, cute, and psychic type for the most part. I didn't even notice that trend. Gen 1 has Mew, a psychic type. Gen 2 has Celebi, a psychic type. Gen 3 has Jirachi, a psychic type. Gen 4, well, doesn't have a psychic type, but it has Manaphy. Close enough. It's small and cute, just not psychic. Gen 5 has Victini, a psychic type. So I didn't even notice this trend. Gen 6, Hoopa? Yeah, Hoopa's small, arguably cute, and psychic. I think Gen 7. Gen 7 has something small, quote-unquote cute, but not psychic. It has Marshadow. So I didn't even notice this trend. Sure, it wasn't a perfect trend that stuck the entire way, but, close enough. Each generation had a small, cute mythical, more than likely psychic type. I didn't even notice that. Well, I guess Gen 8 is the one that broke that. Gen 8, the only mythical we had was Zarude. It's not small. Cute can be argued, depending if you like it or not. And it's certainly not psychic. Well, Gen 9, once again, close enough. We have Pecharunt. It's Poison and Ghost. Close enough. But I'm looking at this list of shiny Pokemon from Gens 1 to 4. Look at like the vibrant ones that's actually worth hunting. Kakuna and Beedrill are pretty vibrant greens. Nidoking is a nice vibrant blue. Venonat and Venomoth have a great blue shiny, but I don't really want to put the effort into getting it. Voltorb and Electro, not really worth my time. Neither is Coughing and Wheezing. No, it's like, well, a lot of these shinies just aren't really worth my time to get. Only reason I'm considering Milotic, aside from the fact that it's a pretty good shiny, is, just the idea that, well, it's not easy to get in general in the game, let alone shiny. Obviously, the method I would do to get it shiny isn't the, standard way, but it still works. So yeah, I'm looking at the Gens 1 to 4 list of shinies. Not a lot of them jump out at me. Gen 5 and up, we have some great ones. Like I said, Boldor, Gigalith. Well, Tirtuga has a surprisingly very nice looking shiny. Who could forget Zorua? Man, I tried so hard to get a shiny Zorua in Pokemon Go this Halloween season. Yeah, just wasn't meant to be. Just didn't happen. I got a 98 IV Zorua before I got a shiny. You want to know something that I kinda want to dedicate an entire hunt to when the game comes out? All the leaks we've gotten for Legend ZA, all the leaks we've gotten so far, for some reason, one of the most prominent leaks about the game is the fact that Stunfisk is in the game. For some reason, that's a big enough point to actually make. Out of the leaks, Stunfisk is in the game. So if that's true, am I crazy? I kind of want to get a shiny Stunfisk in the game. Just because the leaks said it's in the game. Out of every possible thing that's in the game, they made it a point to mention Stunfisk is in the game. You want to know what else? The starters, like the option for starters for the game, have potentially leaked. Potentially. I think it makes sense. I'm not disappointed by it. I'm sure others will be. If the starter options are true, well, it makes my life a hell of a lot easier. I instantly know who I'm going to pick. Just like the case with the Hisuian starters, I instantly knew I was going to pick Rowlet. Sadly, he got an ugly new form, but still, made my choice a lot easier. And the way it was leaked was actually a leaked postcard for the Anaheim World Championships happening next year. And for some reason, these starters are on that picture. For some reason. It seems like I sadly will not be able to get a second shiny Pansear tonight. Just get it done so I could just move on to Panpour. I always found it kind of weird. Anyone else find it kind of weird that these three monkeys, they started with Pan something? Pansage and Pansear was something Pan, and then something that started with an S, and then Panpour was just randomly something that started with a P. Pansage, Pansear, and then Panpour. Anyone else find that weird, or just me? The fact that two of them was Pan S something, and then the third one was Pan P. Oh my god, I hit withdraw again. Am I the only one who thought that was a little weird? So, I didn't know how I was going to mention this. I guess I'll talk about it now. Let me just first say that earlier today, my sister, she bought flowers for Billy for really no reason. No dates coming up. It's not his birthday. It's not his, passing anniversary. It's no anything. you know, she just bought flowers for him randomly. You know, in truth, she just bought it for herself, but like, she was just there. So she just bought the flowers for him. How do I mention this? The other night, I had a dream. In my dream, Toby had died. Toby had passed. That's what I dreamt the other night. You know, in my dream, you know, Sky was all alone. His brother had passed, and, you know, he's never going to see his brother again. Sky was all alone. Like, it breaks my heart to think that one day, and I know it will happen, one day Toby will pass, Sky's brother will be gone, he'll just be alone at home wondering where his brother went. Why he never saw his brother again. It breaks my heart to know that will happen. Not only one day, but soon. It crushes me inside to know that it's going to happen soon. Because the expected lifespan for my dog breed is 13 years. Billy passed when he was 13. Toby's 12. He's going to hit 13 rather soon. So it breaks my heart to know that we don't have a lot of time left with him. Of course, a miracle could happen. He could live long and healthy to like 15 and beyond. Though, you know, I can't bet on that. I can't expect that. And you know, the scary part is, like, from what I've heard earlier today, it sounds like my family might be planning that Hong Kong trip. Possibly not in January, but maybe March. But regardless of when this planned trip happens, that's still time away from him. Time's, you know, not spent around him. Like his final, potentially his final months. And God forbid if he, you know, passes away while we're all on a trip, right? We weren't there to say goodbye. I don't know if I could live with myself if that actually happened. And, you know, if that were to happen, I don't know, maybe I'll just do a backflip off a skyscraper. Because I can't take, you know, I can't live with that thought. I don't know, maybe this dream was like a premonition of something that I know will inevitably happen. Man, life is sad sometimes. I think tomorrow's only Friday. Yeah. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow's only Friday. You know, I like the weekends. Not because it's busier at work, so, you know, money. I like the weekends just because we actually have coworkers there, so it's more lively. More people to talk to. You remember earlier when I mentioned just how stacked December's going to be? Well, I kind of didn't really have anyone to talk to about that all day. Because nobody watches all this stuff that I do. So I don't really have anyone to talk to, just at all throughout the day. It's like, oh my god, there's so much good stuff coming out in December. Who can I share this with? Who can I talk to about this? No one. Well, I sit my ass back down in silence, just, no one to talk to. Just me alone. Hyped up for all this stuff coming up, and me alone hyped up for it. Nobody to share this with. Yep. You guys want to hear something I said to a friend earlier today? So I mentioned previously that November 11th is National Singles Day, and I only found that out recently because they sent it to me. Let me change the music real quick. What else can I play? Trying to think, what can I play? Yeah, I got nothing else in mind. So, National Singles Day is November 11th, which is coming up. And I have a friend who is a Costco lunatic. He's a Costco stan. He lives, breathes, comes into Costco. So, he and a lot of people say you can buy anything at Costco. I was about to phrase this differently, and then I realized, oh, that doesn't sound that great. So I rephrased it. I was thinking like, well, if you can get anything at Costco, how about you find yourself a partner at Costco? He's like, yeah, I like that idea. I will do just that. I assumed jokingly. The way I was gonna phrase it sounded much worse. See, I was thinking in the sense of like I think you can tell where I'm going with this. I was thinking in the sense like you can buy anything at Costco. So I was thinking like, why don't you buy yourself a girl at Costco? And then I realized, wait a second, that doesn't sound good in the slightest. Let me rephrase that. Why don't you find yourself a partner at Costco? Since you can get everything at Costco. So yeah, I realized, oh, I probably shouldn't phrase it that way. So let me rephrase it. I would not be surprised if the next day he literally tells me, yo, I met someone at Costco. I'd be like, of course you did. I shouldn't even be surprised. You know what? Congratulations. Good for you. Proud of you, man. You actually did it. You literally can get anything at Costco. You know, it's actually news these days that Costco even sells alcohol. Well, that doesn't really matter to me. I don't drink. I took a sip of champagne at my sister's wedding, and that shit tasted like absolute ass. Shit was nasty. I don't know how people actually drink it. So, you know, the fact that you can now get booze at Costco, that doesn't matter to me. That affects me not at all. I wonder how many more eggs we have left to do tonight. We got one shiny. That's great. Sad thing is, we need another. Ugh, I am so drained from doing Pansear. What? Pause. I am so non-motivated to continue to hunt Pansear anymore. 800 eggs without a shiny. 800 without a shiny. I have lost motivation to actually continue hunting Pansear. But I will. I will continue because oh, not all the eggs were hatched there. Because I need one more. You know, I will actually be excited to hunt for Pansear just because the shiny is actually nice. It's actually a good shiny. Semi-poor, not really, but hey, we're hunting for Pansear. It's just unfortunately one of them will evolve. You know what? I have 9 of these shits to get. 9 shinies to get. And we now have 5. That means we're over halfway. We got 2 Patrats, 2 Pansages, and now a Pansear. That's 5. So we are over halfway done. Alright, so everything I've done up to this point, double that, and then we should be good. How many hours have I put into this so far? If I go into playlist real quick, I have 18 of these posted. Some of these I went up to like 3 hours doing. 2.5, 2. I'm gonna roughly add up how many hours I've been doing this, you know, up to now. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and a half, 18, 19, 20 and a half, so 21, 22, 23 and a half, 24, 25, so 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 and a half, 35, 36, 37, 38 and a half, so 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So let's say, give or take, I've done this already for 45 hours, not counting today. Which, if we want to count today, well, it's been about 2 hours, so 47. 47 times 2, 94? So, give or take, it's been like... No, it's been like 47 hours, so double that, so we can actually be done with this. Let's say like 94 hours. Let's round it up to a clean 100. Let's say it took me approximately 100 hours to get these 9 shiny Pokemon. I don't know about you guys, but all in all, that's not that bad, actually. 100 hours for 9? There are hunts out there that are 100 hours for 1. 100 hours for 9, that doesn't sound that bad to me. Because, you know, 100 divided by 9, that's like 11 point infinite ones. So like around 11 hours. I get 1 shiny every 11 hours. It could be better, but you know, at the same time, it could be a lot worse. And you know what? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. One shiny every 11 hours. If we also count the fact that oh my god. No, that doesn't count. The fact that this right now doesn't even count me gathering, collecting the eggs, and then hatching them. Like, you know, hatching them beforehand. Well... Oh my god. It's like... Let's double that. Like 200 hours to get all of this. So one shiny every 22.infinite2s hours. It's like nearly a full 24 hours of hunting just for one shiny. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I forgot to check. Whoops. What box was that just now? That was box 10. So that would mean 6 boxes done. Because 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 6 boxes. So we have one more box to hatch after this. And that'll make 7. Nope, turn that ad off. I'm just checking out Osiris's video to take down the Feraligatr. Seems like he's recommending Clefable. I wonder how this guy gets the ideas for the build so fast. Crunch, Liquidation, Psychic Fangs, and Ice Punch. Additional moves: Sword Stance, Earthquake, Dragon Dance. Okay, so it looks like the build is a Fairy Terra Clefable with a metronome. Alright, we got one more box tonight. And then, you know, we'll continue this next time. If I don't get the second shiny in this box, that is. Obviously, if I do, then we're moving on next time. That will take a little bit of time, though. I will need to hatch the rest of the eggs and then collect more. And then walk those. Well, we're almost done tonight. 10 eggs left. 10 more eggs, and then we're done for tonight. And you know what? That's a good thing that we're about to end, because my 3DS is almost out of power. Nice shiny? If only. If only it was. Man, after this, I got a Clefable to build. I gotta make it level 100. I gotta change its ability. So much work to do. Okay, 5 eggs left for tonight. we go. Last egg. And no. Well, there you have it. 7 boxes, 1 shiny. We ended with the shiny today, so, you know, it's better than nothing. At least we finally got one after 800 eggs. Not this one. This one. You can see it's way brighter. So this one will be moved over here. Along with our other shinies. By the way, I don't know if I showed this yet. The Pansear I used to breed is level 88. And then the Watchog is level 100. So, because we didn't have to do another 800 eggs for Pansage, it didn't get to level 100. If I do actually need to get to another 800 for the second shiny, more than likely the Pansear I used to breed will be level 100 by the time I take it out of the daycare. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. I'll see everyone next time for more. Okay, bye.